If you, the meeting is being recorded. If you can, please put your name and company name in the chat so everybody knows who's here. If you have any questions during the presentation, please just add it to the chat and we'll address it during the Q&A portion of the event. Again, this is very informal. Please feel free to eat your lunch while you're listening to our presentation. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our chairman, Ralph Wolf, who's on the call today, our first vice chair, Phil Brilliant, who's also on the call today, and Adam Binder is a board member of the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce. So thank you all for being here today. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Adam Binder from Creative Click Media. He's a good friend to the Chamber, and he's going to be talking about local SEO for small business. Take it away, Adam.
All right. And you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, thank you all for attending. You know, local SEO for small business. Thank you to the Chamber for allowing us to put this on. My name is Adam. I'm the founder of Creative Click, and I'm excited that everybody's here today. I'd also like to introduce Brittany Fortner from our team. Brittany is the Director of Digital Marketing, and she'll be answering all the questions that you guys have live in the chat. We always have a ton of questions at the end, so as we found out last time, is a really efficient way to kind of deal with questions as they pop up. You know, customers are searching for the best products and services near them, and they want answers. They want them fast. So the question is, will your business show up at the exact time when local customers are looking? Will they pick you out of all the local businesses that offer the same products and services? Local SEO requires a strategic and targeted approach that's distinct from general SEO. It does have some similarities, but it also has a lot of differences. Brick and mortar businesses that are wanting to compete, you know, should make sure that all the local signals across Google's local search landscape are consistent and correct. Today, we're going to teach you some simple steps that you can take to optimize your web presence for local search. Local SEO is the practice of optimizing a website in order to increase traffic, to increase leads, and build brand awareness from local search. Common tasks associated with local SEO include finding local keywords, optimizing a business's Google My Business profile, and building what we call NAP citations. Content, on-page website optimizations, and link building, all with a focused localized intent, are also part of these efforts. So optimizing for local search is important, especially for brick and mortar businesses that are serving specific towns, cities, regions, and even states. When it's done correctly, local SEO allows people to find information about your business quickly and easily, putting them one step closer to a transaction. A few fascinating statistics that highlight just how huge SEO is for local business. 46% of all searches in Google have local intent. 29% of all Google searches contain a local pack in the results. And 76% of consumers that search for something on local on their phone visit a store that same day. So it's clear that local search makes up a huge chunk of the SEO world. If you can get your local business in front of these searches, there's a good chance they'll be walking through the door a few minutes later. So how does local SEO work? Well, a search engine results page may look different depending upon what you're searching for. If you're searching a specific brand, Google may choose to focus showing results based on the company website and related brand pages, such as their Facebook page, their Google My Business listing, or even their locations. But if you're searching for something more general, then the results might look a lot different. You're showing Google ads at the top, followed by local map results, and then the organic search results. That's, I would say, probably the most common example, such as the one that's being shown on the screen. You know, typically when you search for something, and Google can identify some kind of local intent, that can mean, it used to mean, you know, that if you search for like a plumber, you would get different results than if you search for like plumber near me or plumber Tom's River. But now Google is so smart that it kind of figures, you know, if you want a plumber, it's going to be in the area where you are, and it automatically decides to show you the local results. You know, in the example here, there's actually 3 different search engines being, you know, operating at once with unique algorithms. As you can see, search is a constant battle for positioning. Businesses want to win eyeballs, traffic, and business when potential customers are searching online. So they need to show up first when potential customers in their market are searching for these keywords. At a high level, local SEO works like normal Google search. When someone does a search, Google scans through its index to provide the best results for the person's query. But the thing that makes local SEO unique is that Google uses a different set of ranking factors to rank the local search results. Local SEO has a set of unique ranking signals that include the location that you're actually searching from, especially on a mobile device, NAP citations, and NAP stands for name, address, phone, the presence and optimization of your Google My Business listing, the keywords used in the Google My Business profile, the sentiment of online reviews, keywords used in online reviews, the number of check-ins at a location, shares on social media, and a Google Maps star rating for that business, among others. Now, Google adds and removes features from Google My Business all the time, especially over the past year. They had COVID-specific additions. They have veteran-owned businesses, they have Black-owned businesses, all little badges that you can add. So they're constantly tweaking what you can do with the Google My Business profile. So keeping yourself informed about these updates will give you a distinct advantage over competitors that don't. It can also be referred to as a local pack. Basically, it's a section of Google search results that show the local business, local businesses related to your query. Whenever Google deems that your query has local intent, Google will show 3 local businesses that might be able to answer that query. As you know, Google is very good at finding relevant businesses. It's pretty rare that you'll have to go past those first 3. A little while back, these local packs were referred to as the 7-pack. As they displayed 7 businesses at one point rather than 3. I guess in keeping with growing mobile phone usage, Google cut down the 7-pack to just 3 results. With some changes along the way to provide a better search result. So here's an example where when you search for barber Boston, Google has a map pack at the top of the results with the normal search results underneath. In a few minutes, I'm going to discuss how Google ranks businesses in the map pack, but for now, just keep in mind that the map pack has its own algorithm with a completely different set of rules. There are some ranking factors like backlinks that can help you rank in local and traditional organic results, but citations are pretty much only important for ranking in the map pack. It's important to point out that Google doesn't only show local results for keywords that contain a specific city or state. If Google thinks that your search needs a set of local results, they'll show it to you anyway, even if the keyword isn't obviously local. So Google is always changing things. And this is kind of what I was talking about before with the, how they whittled it down from 7 to 3. Now they're experimenting with ads in the 3-pack. I've seen it shown, as it is on the right here, where it's got two organic listings and 1 ad. And I've also seen it where there's 3 listings and an ad. So again, Google's always experimenting. As they decrease the number of listings, it becomes even more coveted and more difficult to attain, and making it more important that you really optimize every last detail. So one of the first steps in any local SEO campaign is to start by benchmarking where you're at. Specifically, you want to see where you rank in the map pack and track your rankings over time. Now, most of the rank trackers today have map pack tracking, but the issue with most of them is that where you're searching from is really important, and the map pack results can be completely different from 1 mile to the next. So here, for example, let's say somebody searches for a coffee shop on 72nd Street and 2nd Avenue in New York City. Those results are going to be super tailored to where that person is standing. In fact, that same search performed a few blocks away can bring up a completely different set of map pack results, or even the same results in a different order. You might notice that when you search for your own business, when you're standing inside your business, and then depending on where you are, you might just go down the block, and instead of being number 1, you're number 2. If you only track your local rankings from a single location like New York or Tom's River, you're only going to see a small sample of where you actually rank in the real world. It's a common mistake made by business owners and marketers alike. So our process for tracking is a little bit different. More and more marketers are adopting this methodology, although I think it's still pretty new to most small business owners, is to use a local grid. So the example on the left here is a traditional rank tracker. It just shows you how you're ranking from the location that you are. So think about why that might be flawed. Using the example I just gave, if you're the owner of a restaurant and you're standing in the middle of your restaurant and you show up number 1, great. But that doesn't give you any real indication of how you're ranking down the block, 2 miles away, 5 miles away, which is all very important. So this has become quite complex. And the solution to that problem is this grid search tracker. So with the example on the right, you can see that the business is located right in the center where that map pin is. And it's showing you, it looks like they rank pretty good, to the east and the west here of their location. If you go south a little bit, it looks like they still rank pretty good. Maybe not as good. But if you go northeast, they're actually not ranking very good at all. They're pretty much off the map completely. So there can be a number of reasons for that. But the important part here is that they've identified that. It's not even necessarily a problem. It could just mean that there's a competitor that has a location in that area. And for someone doing a mobile search in that area, Google considers that other business a better fit. In some cases, it's a matter of optimization, what you did or didn't do. And in some cases, it's just a matter of there's another business that meets the query and Google feels it's a better fit. So here you can see that there's this local paving business. They rank number 1 in the far north of the city, except for one spot. So in that case, you want to click on the result to see who's outranking you. This is using a tool. There's several tools that do something similar. We use a tool called Bright Local. Most of these tools are pretty affordable, but in this case, you can see that they're ranking number 1, except in these 2 little spots here. So it will allow you to identify who the competitors are. When you put their location on the map, you can usually identify why you're not able to take over that number 1 spot. Local organic rankings. So if you're a local business, obviously the map pack is the place to be, but you don't want to completely ignore the traditional search results. The local organic results usually show up below the local pack, but don't let it fool you into thinking that it's map pack or nothing. Most local searches have an insanely strong commercial intent. So it's worth ranking in them too. And unlike the map pack results, the local results are basically the same for any Google search results page. So to optimize the site for local organic rankings, you want to use your keyword in the title tag and in your URL, all the traditional on-page SEO stuff. The only unique thing about local organic rankings is how you track them. So, for example, like store plus city, only make up a fraction of all local searches. So in addition to Boston Barber, you also want to track your rankings for barber and barber near me, similar keywords that maybe don't have the actual location. Here's an example. If you wanted to track rankings for barber near me or for people searching in Boston, you just need to specify the location in your rank tracking tool of choice. And again, there's many of them. If you want to get a better idea of where you rank around town, you can track your rankings for the same keyword across lots of different spots. Local keyword research is definitely not a one and done process. Now that you've learned how to show up in the search results, let's determine which strategic keywords to target in your website's content and how to craft that content to satisfy both users and search engines. So the power of keyword research lies in better understanding the target market and how they're searching for your content, services, or products. Keyword research provides you with specific search data that can help you answer questions like, what are people searching for? How many people are searching for it? And in what format do they want that information? Once you uncover how the target audience is searching for your content, you begin to uncover a whole new world of strategic SEO. And this is usually where business owners cut corners. Marketers, I see marketers do it too. They bypass this critical step, either because they don't know how to do it or it's too difficult, or it takes too much time. And most business owners will assume that they didn't know what they want to rank for. Here is an example. In our own SEO, we've found similar keywords like web design NJ versus NJ web design. Well, one of those searches yields about 2,000 searches a month, and the other one yields about 400. Which one would you optimize for? Obviously volume isn't the only parameter that matters. You want to make sure that a keyword is winnable too. Often if it has a big volume, and a high intent, it's going to be very competitive. But it's important to take all that stuff into consideration. Can you actually win it? Is there enough intent to make it worth the effort to go after it? And what's the competition like? But quite often business owners actually are incorrect, and they're not sure what people really want. Focusing on the audience and then using the keyword data to hone those insights will make for a much more successful campaign than focusing on arbitrary keywords. You probably have a few keywords in mind that you'd like to rank for. Every business owner has those things that they think would be helpful to their business to rank for. Those will be things like your products, services, or other topics that your website addresses, and they're great seed keywords for your research, so start there. You can enter those keywords into a keyword research tool to discover average monthly search volume and similar keywords. Again, there's a lot of different tools that can do it. There's a bunch of good free tools that can do those simple tasks, and I can give you guys some recommendations after the presentation if you want. There's also a lot of great paid tools. Once you enter your seed keywords into one of those tools, though, you begin to discover other keywords, common questions, and topics for the content that you might have otherwise missed. So it's really important to start with data, and to kind of marry data to the knowledge of your business that only you have. Too often, though, people base it on guessing. They think that they know their business well enough to go it alone. And often what I find is that you know your business so well that you're thinking at a higher level about it than your customers do. It's really important to think like your customer. We can use an example of a florist that specializes in weddings. Typing wedding and florist into a keyword research tool, you may discover highly relevant, highly searched for related terms such as wedding bouquets, bridal flowers, wedding flower shop. In the process of discovering those relevant keywords for your content, you'll likely notice that the search volume of those keywords varies greatly. While you definitely want to target terms that your audience is searching for, in some cases, it may be more advantageous to target terms that have lower search volume because they're far less competitive. So since both high and low competition keywords can be advantageous for your website, learning more about search volume can help you prioritize keywords and pick the ones that are going to give you the biggest strategic advantage. Using Yelp Suggest is similar to using Google Suggest. You just type in a keyword that someone in your area might use to find your business and check out the suggested results. I typically don't like Yelp for much, but this tool is pretty cool because it can show you keywords that don't necessarily contain the term that you typed in. So here we're typing in HVAC and it's showing you, Donovan Mechanical, Back Bay Mechanical. It's putting together, that mechanical with HVAC. It's going to give additional suggestions. And of course, there's Google Suggest. This is probably the easiest, most accessible, and most recognizable one. And it can also work great for local searches. The thing to keep in mind here is that local search has to be something that potential local customers are actually going to search for. So if you type in HVAC, you get this list of suggestions. But if you start to type in, something after that, you'll notice here we've typed in the letter B. Boston starts to appear. Blower motor, basics, additional locations. So it's giving you a good indicator that those are things that people are actually interested in. Local voice is becoming huge. In fact, over 20% of all Google searches are done on mobile are now voice searches. As the father of a 9-year-old, I can tell you that is only going to keep increasing. I don't think he types anything. It's all voice, for better or for worse. The main difference between voice and keyword searches is that voice searches tend to be longer and use natural language. So here you have the example, if you were typing it, you would probably type something like gluten-free pizza Brooklyn. But if you were speaking it, it's much easier. It's easy just to say gluten-free pizza in Brooklyn that's open right now, much more specific. And then Google will actually return a query that takes that all into account. You can use the Google Keyword Planner to give you search volume data for specific geographic areas. So if you already have a bunch of keywords and want to pick the best of the bunch, this feature can be really helpful. But if you're on the hunt for new keywords, I recommend using their Start with a Website feature. All you have to do is pop in the homepage of the URL of one of your competitors, and Google will suggest a bunch of keywords based on the terms that show up on that page. Next, we're going to talk about some local SEO ranking factors, how the search engines actually rank your website. Last year, Moz ran its annual local search ranking factor study. They found the #1 ranking factor for ranking in the map pack was your Google My Business profile. So your business website is still extremely important, but the content on your page and the links pointing to your site play a role in your map pack rankings. But for your business to rank #1 in the map pack, your Google My Business profile needs to be on point. What are NAPs? NAP stands for name, address, phone number. Citations are another key local SEO ranking signal. NAP citations are places where your name, address, and phone number are all listed out. Why are NAPs important? Google basically scans billions of web pages every single day, and it finds similarities and differences about them. It builds this profile, if you will, about your business. And the more often they see NAP citations for your business, the more confident they are that your address is where you say it is and that your phone number is correct. That's why it's so important to have consistent NAP citations on as many reputable websites as you can. We see all the time where a business maybe moved 6 months ago and their address is out of date, or their phone number changed and it's incorrect on half of the listings. Maybe the business owner knew that it needed to be updated on Google, but didn't update it on the other 50+ directories that they're listed on. And that can really cause wreak havoc on your ranking. So that same study by Moz found that review signals also played a very important role. They specifically stated that negative reviews on your profile can hurt you, and that Google probably also uses reviews on third-party sites like Yelp too. So getting positive reviews can help you. Negative reviews can hurt you. You should never incentivize people to leave reviews. If Google catches you, bad things can happen from that. Anything from loss in ranking to just getting shut down. But according to at least one panelist that participated in that study, reviews along with the owner's response show that consumers trust a business, and trust is a foundational factor in ranking. So replying to reviews, even negative ones, probably especially negative ones, can help your local SEO efforts a lot. All the normal rules of SEO still apply. In fact, Google confirmed that your rankings in the organic results impact your local rankings, which means the higher you rank in the organic results, the higher you'll rank in the map pack. So creating content, optimizing your pages, and building backlinks is still extremely important for local SEO rankings, especially for competitive industries like legal and dentistry, finance. Google My Business is Google's one-stop shop to manage how your business will look and perform in its local search results. So it's essential to adjust how your site shows up in maps, the knowledge graph, and organic search results. According to the 2021 edition of Whitespark's Local Search Ranking Factor Survey, Google My Business continues to be the biggest driver of local SEO success, with reviews coming in second place. Consistency is key. Not only should everything you enter into Google My Business match your website, but it should also match your NAP citations around the web. When Google sees that your business info is consistent in your Google My Business on your website and third-party sites like Yelp, they say, basically they think, okay, this business is legit and all their local info matches up. But when your local business has one address listed in Google My Business and another on the website, that's a huge red flag to Google. So if your business changes its name, physical location, or phone number, it's important that the new data gets updated immediately. That includes citations on other local business directories. I also recommend double checking that your business's address is written out the exact same way on your Google My Business profile and everywhere else it shows up. Recently we were working with a business to remedy that. It was something as simple as having like Route 37 versus Highway 37, or having highway all capitalized or not capitalized. Believe it or not, those things really do make a difference. As smart as Google is, little inconsistencies like that can really hurt you. And this is something that I've seen firsthand with several clients. Google doesn't like it when one address says Avenue and another says Ave. It won't stop the mailman from delivering your Amazon package, but it definitely does confuse Google. Google gives you a score for how complete your profile is. In my experience, the score is really generous. You can get a really high score for just covering the basics. So I'd use their score as a baseline, but if you really want to rank for competitive keywords, you probably need to go above and beyond. Main thing I see people miss out on is category selection. Google will force you to choose a top level category that describes your business. The category you go with has to match a category that they already have. You can't make up your own category. That said, a lot of people forget to add in secondary categories. The secondary categories directly impact the keywords and searches that your business is eligible to rank for. While you're in there, I also recommend filling in the services and products tabs. This info tells Google what your business is actually selling, so it's really important to fill this stuff in. Keeping business data updated. You want to double check that your opening hours, holidays, and other basic info are all accurate and up to date. This kind of thing may not directly impact listings, but when someone drives to your restaurant only to see a close sign, you can expect a bad review from a hangry person. So you want it to be second nature that when opening hours change, the change is also made in Google My Business. As I mentioned earlier, reviews are one of Google's top local ranking signals. Needless to say, you want as many positive reviews as you can get. Whether a review is positive, negative, or in between, I highly recommend replying to every single review. This shows potential customers and Google that you care. Just look at the difference that this reply makes. So here you have, a terrible review and, and a sincere apology with a generous offer to make amends. There's a good chance that, that local guide is going to go back and update their review. But even if they don't, other people that are seeing it are going to realize, hey, you're human. You've got a 4.0 review, and and looks like maybe they had a bad night there, and they made generous amends for it. So they're human, they err, and they made it up to them. So it really does take a little bit of the bite out of that negative review, and it's really easy to reply to reviews right within Google My Business. When it comes to getting reviews, there's two things to keep in mind. You need to ask customers to leave reviews. Most happy customers won't without a little prodding. I think we have 60 reviews now, and I've probably asked 10 times that many clients to leave reviews. Of course, if people are upset, they're more likely to go online and leave reviews, which is why it's even more important to good ones. You need to make it really easy for them. The best ways to do both is to send customers an email with a review link. There's two ways to generate a review link, but the easiest one is going to be just to head over to this page on Google, and I can share this link with you. It's right within the Google My Business dashboard, though, where it will basically allow you to generate this unique URL. And when the person clicks on it, it prompts them to leave a review. So yeah, you can log into your Google My Business account and head over to the Get More Reviews card and generate that short URL. This is what it looks like. There's two types of optimization which need to happen to get the best results in the local search results: on-site and off-site SEO. First, on-site, sometimes referred to as on-page SEO, is the process of optimizing your website's content and code for the best search results. Often the most basic places to begin on-site SEO are content, meta titles, internal website linking, and page speed. You probably already know that you want to write 100% unique content for every page on your site. If your business serves, Tom's River, you want the content for each page. If your business serves Tom's River and, let's say, Manchester, you want content for each page to be completely different if you have those location-specific service pages. But what you may not know is that as long as you avoid duplicate content, you can create these sorts of landing pages for the cities that you're not physically based in. It won't help you rank in the map pack, but it can help you rank in the local organic results, which is pretty powerful because it will allow you to rank far beyond the geography that the map pack will allow. For example, this roofing service has pages optimized around Brockton and Natick. The best part is that they're not located in either city, but they rank in the local results for both of their target keywords. When it comes to local SEO, schema markup is more of a nice to have. That said, there's an entire category of schema markup for local businesses. You can use this schema to mark up your address and phone number. I don't think that Google relies on schema as much for map pack rankings, since they really have most of that data already inside your Google My Business. But if you're confident that you can implement it correctly, there's nothing wrong with using the local business markup on your site. And there are plugins and tools to do that without having to know how to code. That said, one type of schema that can definitely help is review markup. Like any of the search engine results pages, review stars can turn your boring result into an eye-catching rich snippet. Another little hack, I think, is what I call a title tag cliffhanger. The idea is that you start writing your title tag off with a strong benefit-driven statement, and then make sure that the statement goes beyond Google's title tag limit, which is currently 50 characters. The cutoff creates an open loop that can lead to more clicks. It generates interest. People want to know, what else did it say? Again, NAP stands for name, address, phone. It's a critical factor in local SEO. It influences which companies Google and other search engines show for local intent searches. People often refer to occurrences of NAP data around the web as citations. Running a NAP audit. So you want your NAP data to be 100% consistent everywhere. That's on your website, on your Google My Business profile, on business directories, on local listing sites. Basically, any place that mentions your business online. There are many citation tools and services out there, including our free website scan tool, which is what you're looking at here. Our tool helps you identify any incorrect, inconsistent, or missing information about your business. And then it gives you the option to have us easily fix it for you if necessary. So basically, you can take the information and do it yourself, or it makes it easy for us to do it for you. Brittany's going to post the link to this free tool in the chat, and please feel free to to fill it out. It'll give you an instant audit of your NAP citations across the web, and feel free to share it with any business owners that you think might need it. That said, no matter what tool or service you use, the most important things you'll need to have before you start are an up-to-date NAP for the business and any historic NAP info. That way you can find and update any outdated citations. With this information, the tool you use will scour the internet for NAPs, and you will get a report that looks somewhat like this. You're going to want to fix any incorrect data. So now that you have the list of citations, you want to find any that are incorrect or inconsistent. If it's an older business and you haven't done an audit before, you can expect a lot of citations that need a fix or an update. So once you've identified them, you want to fix them. In my experience, incorrect NAPs fall into two categories: citations you can change, for example, your NAP on Yelp, and citations someone else has to change, for example, a mention on a local resource page. For the first category, updating these one by one is a huge pain. That's why services like ours exist. For citations that need a manual change from someone else, you'll need to reach out one by one with targeted friendly outreach emails. After you build citations at Yelp, Foursquare, Angie's List, and the other usual suspects, what's next? In my experience, your best citation opportunities come from local sites. Local citations are super relevant citations that can give your map pack a real rankings boost. Because you're reaching out to people in your local area, your outreach conversion rate is going to be really high. The question is, how do you find these local citations? I recommend using a tool called Link Intersect feature in Ahrefs. This is a paid tool. It's not free, so not everyone's going to have access to it. So I'll just go through it briefly. As it suggests, the feature is designed for link building, but as you'll see, it works for citations too. Sometimes you can even double dip and get a link and a citation from the same place. The step-by-step process is to first take a batch of 2 to 3 competitors and pop them into the tool. You don't always need to use direct competitors here. Any business in your area can work. After all, they're also building citations from local business directories. Once you do that, you'll get a report that lists all the sites that have linked to the competitors that you use in step 1. Finally, you're going to sift through the results to find the citation opportunities. Reverse engineering competitor names. We do this for name, address, phone listings and for regular backlinks alike. The idea is to find out, get a comprehensive list of all the places that your competitors have been mentioned online, and then go after some of those opportunities. In my experience, this approach works better than Link Intersect. With a citation tool, the results don't necessarily have to link to your competitor sites to show up. A backlink is a link from another website to your own website. To put it simply, backlinks can help drive relevant traffic to your site and boost your domain's authority in the eyes of search engines. You can think of your backlink profile like your reviews on Google My Business. Having many 5-star reviews on your Google My Business looks great to potential customers and to Google. For your backlink profile, having quality backlinks from high authority domains sends a positive signal to search engines. This is going to earn you high quality backlinks and can help transfer what we call link equity, or credibility and authority to your own website. Most local businesses have relationships with other businesses in their local area. So even though you probably need to tap into cold email outreach at some point, I would recommend starting off by building links from people that you already know. It's a good idea to list out every distributor, supplier, wholesaler, contractor, neighboring business, any business that you have some sort of relationship with, and then look for a specific page on their site where a link to you would make sense. That's the part that most people overlook is, how does it make sense? So when you're going to reach out to somebody, and ask them to build a link to your site, you should have a reason, and it should be a good one. For example, we work with a landscaper who works with specific types of stone, blocks, pavers. It made sense for us to reach out to, and this guy does really nice work. He's got great photos of this, of their product in use. It made sense for us to reach out to those manufacturers and say, hey, would you mind featuring, this guy's work on your website by linking out to it, because he's showing your product being used to great effect. And so that was a good logical link partnership there. That made sense. They agreed to it, and it was very beneficial. Your local chamber of commerce. It's one of the easiest links you're ever going to get. Here's an example from our Greater Toms River website. How you get listed, depends on each individual chamber. Some require an annual fee, others make you keep up your membership every year. Regardless, Chamber of Commerce backlinks are some of the most relevant links that you're going to get because Google takes proximity into account. So if you're saying that you're a business in Toms River or in the local area and you have a powerful link from the Toms River Chamber of Commerce, that is going to increase your local authority. You're kind of like a unspoken benefit of chamber membership, but it's certainly a valuable one. Pro tip, go the extra mile. So if you want to get a Chamber of Commerce link that is contextual, you can consider giving a presentation like this one to your local chamber. So the directory listing would be considered a citation. It's basically that name, address, phone information, whereas a contextual link is going to be, a link that has some other context to it. They're both valuable in different ways. The contextual link is actually going to be better for the organic search. You guys, or everyone on the call, is an expert in their own business. Think about something that businesses in your area would want to learn more about, and then outline your ideas and pitch it to whoever's in charge of scheduling events at the organization that you want to work with, and and start presenting that way. You can sponsor local events. Most local events need sponsors, and usually you can find yourself with a nice link on the event's website. Support doesn't have to necessarily be just cash. If you run a pizza place, you can consider donating, a stack of pizzas. If you're a printing company, you can offer to print up flyers. There's all kinds of ways to make that happen. Local newspapers and local news sites are starving for stories. If you do anything remotely interesting, like an anniversary event or grand reopening, you'll probably find yourself with a beat reporter covering it. The only catch is that you need to give the news sites a heads up at least a few days before so they can prepare. Plus, you can help them write up the story with any pertinent background info. Again, through the chamber here, there's actually a partnership with the APP where your business can be featured in a small business spotlight. I know, Phil, took advantage of that a few years ago, as did I. I'm sure, other people on the call have probably taken advantage of that. But for anyone who doesn't know about that, it's a great benefit. You get published in print and on the web. It's free. They write an awesome story, and it creates a very valuable backlink to your website, which is great for SEO. And I believe Brittany is going to post a link to that benefit in the chat. If you don't want to go through all the hassle of an event, you can also become a source for local stories. The best way to find those opportunities can be on Twitter. There's two search strings that have worked best for me, which is looking to speak to plus the city name, or journal request plus area. Basically putting commands into Twitter, so that when you're telling Twitter that you're looking to speak in an area, and you can see that there's tons of great opportunities. When building your local SEO strategy, it's important to leave no stone unturned. The last section here is going to go over some more of the advanced and lesser known tips and tricks, and I'm going to try to go through it quick. I know we're short on time. THUMBTACK suggests, THUMBTACK is a service place where you can find service providers. If you go there and you type in cleaners, for example, it gives you a handful of suggestions, including a bunch of really specific terms. These are perfect to create landing pages around because of their specificity. So instead of, cleaners like house cleaners, you can see dryer vent cleaners, gutter cleaners, carpet dry cleaners, hot tub cleaners. I know personally people who run every type of business here. It's much more specific, and being more specific is going to yield a better quality. People with high purchase intent are going to land on your website. Embedding your Google map on your website is a great way to emphasize to Google that you're located in a specific place. All you need to do is find your business in Google Maps, then hit the little drop-down menu in the top left corner of the screen. You can click share or embed map, which will give you an embed code, and then you can pop that code into your site's contact or directions page. In my experience, this single tip can help a lot with local organic rankings. Just using the location focus keywords, you just need to make sure that your local focus keyword shows up at the very top of your page in a headline. And feel free to experiment too. What Brittany and I like to do is we do monthly experiments. We'll say, okay, from the 1st to the 31st of this month, we're going to experiment with this new headline, and it's the only change we make so that we know that any benefit or anything negative that may happen is going to most likely be attributable to that one change. And if it's good, we leave it and then we move on to the next experiment. If it didn't work, or we don't like the result, then we undo it or do something else, and then we record those results as well. Always looking to improve. I recommend wrapping that title in an H1 tag. That said, it's really more for UX signals and straight up on-page SEO. Here you see two different examples of a landing page. When someone lands on your page, they need to know that you serve their area within 2 seconds. When they see a headline like the one on the left, they're probably going to go back to the search results to find a business that's 100% focused on their city. On the other hand, a headline like the one on the right makes someone say, great, they serve my area. I'm definitely in the right place. Title tag double dip. This is kind of like an old school approach that still works really well for local business. All you need to do is optimize your homepage title tag around 2 to 3 keywords. For example, this local business is optimized around San Diego kitchen remodeling and bathroom remodeling San Diego, and they rank in the top 5 for both. This works in the local world because most businesses get very few links to internal pages. You want to optimize your meta descriptions for locals. It's no secret that this is a great way to improve your organic click-through rate. You can use Google Ads to find compelling description copy. After all, that ads copy is proven to get clicks, so you can't go wrong by using some of their copy in your description. So I kind of rushed through that last part. There's kind of advanced strategies. I'm happy to go over any of those in depth with you, after the call if you have questions on them. But I do want to thank everybody for attending. Right now we're offering a free no strings attached comprehensive SEO audit for anybody that attended today. Feel free to just drop your name, website, and contact info in the chat if you want to take advantage of the offer, or just reach out to me privately. And I thank everybody for attending.
Wow, Adam, amazing. Another amazing presentation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I do have a couple of questions if you can just entertain me real quick.
Sure.
So when the chamber does mentions in like our social media or shares in our social media, does that affect at all SEO or SEO for those businesses?
So that's what we call social signals. That's been a widely debated topic for years. I do believe that Google does look at that because it has all that data from your analytics, and so Google has a factor that they call Rank Brain, which is their AI ranking system. Mm-hmm. And if they see that you're driving traffic to your website from, let's say, Facebook, and that traffic, the people who come from Facebook spend on average 3 minutes on your site, they meander through your events, and they take specific actions. Google's going to recognize that, hey, people will find this site interesting. It's providing value. Whereas if people come from Facebook and they leave in 3 seconds, then Google's going to make the inference that, hey, this site is low quality, people don't care about it, and rank it lower.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Also, when we send out event emails, like for example, this morning or yesterday, an email went out from Eventbrite, and it linked to our speaker. Does that benefit you as well?
I don't think so, not from an SEO standpoint. Although Google does, it can identify those third-party sources, but everything that I've ever read says it doesn't. I don't think that it does, but it helps from the standpoint of sending traffic to the site.
Okay. Okay. And is there anything that we can do as a chamber for our members? We offer reviews. Is there anything else as a chamber that we can do to benefit and help SEO for our members?
I really made an effort to point out the few things that I think are so valuable. I really would need to think on that. I think the chamber already offers a huge value SEO-wise. One thing I didn't mention is the Better Business Bureau. I don't really think they do much, nothing that I can see, but they have a great backlink. It's got a domain authority of 95. You pay $400 for it, but you'll see a noticeable increase. But as far as the chamber is concerned, I think that you guys are already doing everything that you can from this. I think if anything, it's something that you should promote more and tell people about that benefit, because I think it's a really attractive benefit.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Did anyone else have any other questions for Adam? No, it was such a thorough, it really was such a thorough presentation. We are recording it and we will be sending out the recording and also posting on our YouTube channel. But if nobody else has any questions, I want to thank everybody for coming today. Our next Strategies for Success is going to be August 12th, 12 to 1. Our topic is 7 secrets of top performing sales professionals. And our speaker is going to be Scott Bliss from Sandler Training by Maximum Performance Management. So thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Today, Adam, thank you so much for all of your information, and I'll be sending out an email with all the links that you guys added to the chat, and then also the presentation. So thanks again. I appreciate it. Have a great, great weekend. Member Connect tomorrow morning.
Member Connect tomorrow morning, 7:30. You want to be there. Adam, thanks a lot, man. Lots of knowledge in that head of yours. I'll tell you.
Honestly.
Keep going.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks, Adam. Everybody take care.
See you all tomorrow morning.